You sit down and you can be on a position for an hour and a half, you know, and it goes by as if it was 15 minutes. And it's fun. You're always seeing 3-4 moves ahead.
Helping pilots, whether they're encountering bad weather in flight, and assisting them in making a decision on where to go or how to get around things. Probably the biggest thing is being there to help a wide variety of pilots, from a student up to smaller commercial companies.
Everybody is looking out for the next guy, and you're trying to make things as easy as you can for the next controller down the line.
In the control tower, you see the day go by, you see the weather, you see the planes. It just goes by quickly.
It's like maybe playing 4 or 5 games of chess at the same time with different partners.
How would you like a career that can take you to a whole new place? Where you can work with people who are the best in the world at what they do. Where you can work with the latest in technology, and where you can make a difference by helping to keep people and aircraft safe in Canada's skies while moving air traffic efficiently. Sound interesting? Sound like something you might like to try? Then consider this as a new career destination. Nav Canada and its team of air traffic controllers and flight service specialists.
Nav Canada is the private company that owns and operates Canada's air navigation system, and our team does it all, from giving flight and weather information to issuing directions and clearances to aircraft from takeoff to landing and all points in between. If you or people you know travel by air, then you have a pretty good idea about how important Canada's air navigation system really is. We'd like you to meet our team, the men and women who make it all happen.
I was born in Gander, and you can't help but know a little bit about airlines based on that. Yeah, having that close contact, I guess, it got me thinking about it. And it just seemed like a great challenge.
I went to school for science, so I kind of fell into the aviation field and then looked into air traffic control and went through the application process, and just found it really neat.
It's an exciting industry, and one where you are at the heart of the action. But you might be asking yourself, what are the skills I need to consider doing this as a career?
I think an easygoing person who is willing to flow and adapt and mold their operation to what's happening will have as much success here.
There's an aptitude test which basically looks at, do you have the aptitude to think on your feet to do different things?
I would also say you'd have to have some pretty good multitasking abilities. And I would also say you would have to be able to be calm and cool in a situation.
I think you have to be good at planning and thinking ahead, organization.
Good communication skills and, being able to speak clearly and assertively, being able to make decisions and being confident about those decisions that you make.
Once you've applied and been selected for a position at Nav Canada, your training begins. Intensive introductory courses, on-the-job training, and ongoing career development opportunities are taken seriously at Nav Canada. We invest time and resources in your development, and the only limits are your drive and desire.
Fantastic. It was air traffic control immersion at that time. We ate, slept, and drank air traffic control. If we weren't in class, we were in the simulator, and any free time we'd had mini study groups. We would test each other with cards all day long.
They start teaching you about the basics of aviation, what the different types of aircraft are and performance rates, what the different kinds of navigation equipment is. And then they start teaching you the basics of our manual of operations. And then there's testing, both written and practical. And you sit in a simulator and you do the job and you get constructive feedback.
There's a training process there that somebody is behind you all the time in case you make a mistake, and so that they can pick it up and get you to the point where you can function completely and competently on your own.
It was the ideal environment to take anyone from a pilot to a homemaker, to get them to the level that they needed to be to arrive at the center and perform.
If you apply to become an air traffic controller, you can work in the tower at airports of all sizes. Or you can work at one of our area control centers, where the Nav Canada team handles hundreds of aircraft flying across the country every day. You might choose to work as a tower or VFR air traffic controller, directing aircraft while they're landing or taking off at the airport.
Planes don't come together. Make sure runways are clear, and you make sure that your departure spacing is proper, and people get going as fast as they can and land as fast as they can within, the boundary of being as safe as possible. When you're looking at a lot of arrivals and a lot of departures, when you see a lineup 15, 20 airplanes deep, 15, 20 arrivals all coming in at the same time, and actually make the holes work between the arrival space and get the planes out on their own, where one's just getting airborne and one's just landing. It's really cool looking, and it makes you feel really good once you get that push out of the way. It might take you an hour to do it, but once it's done, you take a big breath, and it feels good.
It's a dynamic position. You're always thinking ahead of what's going to happen, and you always have a plan B. You're constantly thinking and you're constantly focused, which is nice. I think that's what I like about it. Plus, you're looking at these jets taking off and saying, I'm talking to that pilot right now. That's kind of cool.
You might choose to work as an en route, terminal, or IFR air traffic controller, directing aircraft as they travel through large regions of Canadian airspace or oceanic airspace assigned to Canadian control.
Typical shift, 8.5 hours. It depends which shift you start off with, the day shift, the evening shift, or the midnight shift. The day shift will start off at about 6:30, finish at 3 o'clock. So you plug in position and you start the departure rush. And then you start the arrival rush at around 8 o'clock in the morning. Breaks actually work about an hour and a half on, 30 minutes off. And during that break, do whatever you like. We have the internet at work, or you can go watch TV if you really need to.
Basically, you control the flow of traffic. It's kind of like a video game. It's a thrill. It could be a thrill when it's really busy.
You might work as a flight service specialist, advising aircraft on weather, terrain, and flight planning, helping aircraft crews determine the best routes to fly and letting them know about conditions they might encounter.
The basic job of a flight service specialist is to advise aircraft in their area of safety hazards, other aircraft, which runway to use, what the winds are.
There are stations across the country from as far north as Inuvik, Rankin Inlet, and from the west coast right across to Halifax. So there is definitely a wide variety of stations. Most of them are in smaller communities for the flight service stations, and then the FICs are in larger communities, again, across the country.
One thing that is consistent, some of the most advanced technology available in the world is at your fingertips.
You can, look at the flight plan, find out who it is, what type of aircraft, the speeds, altitudes, where they're going. Everything's just right there at hand, and it is neat.
Most of the system actually were developed here in-house. So you have the opportunity to participate in this development and have a say on how it's going to be developed and how it's going to be applied for your specific unit, which is very interesting. 4 years ago, we refurbished the whole tower here, and it's now one of the most modern towers in North America. Everything is touchscreen. All the information is just transferred from one position to the other automatically. It's just great. The ergonomics are amazing. I mean, you've got consoles that go up and down, chairs for all size and fit. So it evolves, like the new technology constantly coming in.
Here's the bottom line. This is a real career where there is opportunity for you to learn and grow. A stable, progressive environment with great benefits and competitive salaries. Nav Canada is part of a global industry, an industry that's on the move now and always. It's a dynamic organization serving a world in motion, a true innovator with a global reputation for setting new standards. And you can be part of this world.
If you have any interest in air travel, if you get excited when you go to the airport, or you watch the aircraft on the approach from your backyard, if any of that interests you, just imagine being the one in control of it all.
People are saying you're going to be switching careers half a dozen times. This is one area where you can, from now until 35 years, sort of put in and be employed by the one employer. There are still a few of those opportunities left. This is one of them.
meeting people here and now having a whole new circle of friends too from work just makes it that much better. Like, it's an amazing job. I can't even describe. I don't know why more people don't at least try to get into it.
Oh, they take care of us great. It's the best benefits that you can possibly imagine. Great pay, great pension at the end. Every move was fully paid for, fully supported by the company. Everything was always very easy.
I'd say for sure give it a try. I tell people that all the time, and they say, oh, I don't know if I can do that. How do you know? How do you know if you can't do that if you don't try it? It's exciting, it's different every day, and you'll never know till you just give it a try.
To find out more about career opportunities at Nav Canada, visit our site, navcanada.ca, or call us today. If you're ready to explore a fascinating career in an environment where you can really make a difference, we want to talk to you.